All right, we're on the bottom of page 18, and what we're going to do is continue our practice of dividing mixed numbers. So for some of you, you might feel comfortable trying some of these out on your own. If not, you can just do them with me, but here we go. Let's get started. So we're on the bottom of page 18. We're going to try B and C here. Again, the first thing you have to do is change any mixed number to a fraction. And we're going to use that little swoop to do that. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5 halves. Well, I'm going to write that a little closer. I've learned my lesson from writing these in the last time. I was getting too close to the edge of the box there. All right, 5 halves divided by 3 sevenths. All right, so we're going to change, and we're going to flip. Keep the 5 halves. Change division to multiplication. Flip that fraction to 7/3. I'm looking diagonally. I don't see anything. Nothing here that we can simplify by. So we're going to multiply, see what we get. 5 times 7 is 35. 2 times 3 is 6. So we could do top of the box, but how many times does 6 go into 30? It would go in there 5 times. 5 times 6 is 30. To get from 30 to 35, we need 5 more. So it'd be 5, 5, 6. Okie doke. Well, if you want to try this one here on your own, go for it. If not, do it with me. Here we go. 5 and 5/8 divided by 3/4. So again, we have a mixed number here. We have to change it to a fraction. We're going to do it like so. Multiply and add. 8 times 5 is 40, plus 5 is 45/8, divided by 3/4. The first step is to write it down as division. Then we will keep, change, flip. We're going to keep the top number, or the first number. Change division multiplication. Flip that fraction. It's going to be 4/3. 8 and 4. Well, what can we divide 8 and 4 by? Well, it will be 4. So we can simplify here. We can divide 8 by 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2. 4 divided by 4 is 1. We can also divide 45 and 3, believe it or not. Because 3 goes into 45. I'm just going to check that real quick. I believe it's 15 times. Indeed it is, 15 times. So we can divide both of these by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 45 divided by 3, of course, as we said, was 15. Well, 15 times 1, 15. 2 times 1 is 2. To do 15 halves, well, 2 goes into 15 7 times. You get 1 left over, because 2 times 7 is 14. You get 1 left over out of 2. Booyah. There it is. There it is. 7.5. Okay? All right, so if you tried those on your own, I hope you got 7.5. If not, maybe you probably should fix that. Probably should fix that one. All right, here we go. Let's go on to the back. We're going to try a couple more here. So on the back, we had problems or situations that were a mixed number divided by a mixed number. So what we have to do for these, we have to change both to fractions. We have to change both of these to fractions before we do anything else. Multiply then add. Multiply then add. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2 is 14/3, divided by 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 is 7/4. 14/3 divided by 7/4. Well, we're going to keep, change, flip. Keep, change, flip. Keep the first fraction. Change division to multiplication. Flip that fraction. Okay, let's look diagonally. 3 and 4 you can do nothing with. 14 and 7, though, we can divide those both by 7. 14 divided by 7 is 2. 7 divided by 7 excuse me, is 1. 2 times 4 is 8. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 goes into 8 twice. That's going to be the whole number. 2 times 3 is 6. So that means we need 2 more to get to 8. That's 2 left over out of 3. To check that, 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8. That'd be 8 thirds. Those are equivalent, so that is the answer. Okay. Second to last but not least, as they say. We're going to change these both to fractions because they're mixed numbers. We never want to divide those mixed numbers. We only want to divide fractions. So we'll change them to fractions, improper fractions, but still fractions. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 5 is 14 ninths. Divided by 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7 thirds. I'm feeling good about this one, actually, believe it or not. All right, so we're going to keep, change, flip. Let's see what happens. Keep the first fraction, 14 ninths, times, flip that fraction, 3 sevenths. I'm looking diagonally. I see two things. 9 and 3, we can divide those both by 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 14 and 7, we can divide those both by 7. 14 divided by 7 is 2. 7 divided by 7 is 1. Well, look at that. Instead of dealing with, it would be 42 60-thirds. 42 60-thirds. When you simplify, we're left with 2 times 1 is 2. 3 times 1 is 3. Instead of dealing with 42 60-thirds, we got 2 thirds, and we're done. All right. One more problem here. We got this giant panda. It says I changed this problem, by the way. This is not necessarily factual anymore because I didn't want to deal with the number 330. So I changed it to 90. So a male giant panda doesn't really weigh 90 pounds, but I changed the number because I didn't want to work with that number 330. It just wasn't a pleasant number to work with. It says the average adult male panda weighs about 1 1/5 times as much as the average adult female. The average weight of a male panda is 90 pounds. Not true. But we're using that number anyway. How much does the average female giant panda weigh? All right. I know it says times here, but this is actually a division problem. Okay? Because we're given the male's weight, and the male weighs more. It's kind of a tongue twister. The male weighs more. And so we're going to divide the male's weight by how many times greater its weight is than the female to find the female's weight. So we're actually going to set it up like this. 90 divided by 1 1/5. Whoop, snapped the graph right there. All right, so we can't keep change flip here because we don't have fractions. So what we're going to do, write them both as fractions. 90 over 1 divided by, this would be, 5 plus 1 is 6/5. So that's our problem here, our situation. Then we're going to do keep, change, flip, keep the first number, multiply by the reciprocal, 5/6. All right. What can we divide, or can we simplify? Can we simplify 90 and 6? I'm thinking we can. What I'm going to do, because I'm thinking 6 goes into 90. So what I'll do is I'll put the top in the box. Let's divide here. So many times 6 goes into 90. 6 divided by 9 is 1. 1 times 6 is 6. 6 goes into 30 5 times. 5 times 6 is 30. There it is. So 6 does go into 90 15 times. So we can divide these both by 6. We could divide them both by 3 or even 2. But if we divide them by 6, it's going to make it a whole lot easier. 6 divided by 6 is 1. 90 divided by 6, we already did. It's 15. Now all we have to do is multiply. 15 times 5 Well, you didn't know. Just do it off to the side here. 15 times 5, 45, and then 5 times 1 is 5 plus 4 is 9. Oh, wait a minute. That'd be a 2, not a 4. That'd be a 2. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7, 75. So that's going to be 75, and then 1 times 1 is 1. So that means that female, this is not true, because I changed the numbers. According to this problem, it would be 75 pounds. Again, not true. But that's how you'd find it. So again, simplifying here is going to save you a lot of time, because instead of dealing with 456ths, when you simplify first, you get 75 over 1. And that's really easy to find the answer. I forgot to circle the answer up here. I just noticed. That's the answer, 2/3. All right, so with the remaining time, I got a couple of minutes. I'm going to kind of walk you through the review packet if you wanted to start it, because I know this one was kind of shorter. If you had some extra time, you can start the review packet. All right, let me just kind of go through this real quick. I'm going to do this again on another video, but if you wanted to get started. GCF, 18 and 60. Well, GCF, remember, is the factor trees, and you're going to find out what they have in common. So you're going to break these numbers down, find out what they have in common. That's GCF. LCM, 8 and 12. You're going to make a list and see what number comes up first that they both share. All right, 3. This is about skateboards. What is the greatest number of skateboards that can be put in this section? Well, the word greatest is in there. That might give you a clue whether you're using greatest common factor, emphasize greatest, or least common multiple. But it's probably the one that has the word greatest in the title. So that might give you a clue here. All right, the one on the bottom here, it says the line A bus arrives at the bus stop every 25 minutes, and the line B bus arrives every 15. Both are at the bus stop right now. In how many minutes will they be both? Will they both be at the bus stop again? That's the key word. And I'll give you a hint. If you use greatest common factor for this one, this is probably least common multiple. Just a hint. Just a hint. Okay. Reciprocals. Remember, the reciprocals when you flip it. Be careful with that one. Be careful with that one. Reciprocals when you flip it, but be careful when you flip the 9. Make sure it's a fraction. For these 6, 7, and 8, you're going to use, make sure to rewrite it. Rewrite that one so that you're dealing with fractions. You want to keep, change, flip those. Remember, you can cross simplify if you can. That might make things easier for you. Remember, you can only cross simplify after you get into a multiplication. You can't cross simplify with division, only multiplication. Only multiplication. On the back here, we got a couple word problems, 9 and 11. So 9 and 11 are word problems. Remember, the number that goes first usually is the number being divided up. Okay. Number 10, you got to make sure when you do number 10, you first change these, change them to fractions because they're mixed numbers, then keep, change, flip. Then you're all set. Now, that won't be due next time, but it will be due the time after that. But I just wanted to give you some time to get started. If in case you had some extra time, you could probably get a good chunk of that done. If you have any questions about any of this, let me know. If not, have a great day, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.